Right. Got it. Okay. So, improv games and improv started out as something. Sorry, Mom, do you need it? Okay. Improv games and improv. My mom's visiting everyone. It started out as something that was helpful for actors on stage and getting ready to be more comfortable to be present in acting environment for theater. And I actually studied improv and saw that it worked really well at the time with the children I was working with who are on the autism spectrum. And that kind of grew where I started a nonprofit that worked with children of all abilities. And I call it social emotional improvisation. So it's taking that same idea of improv and improv games and using that method and that comfortability to be more, I don't even like saying more, but to help kind of open those passageways, open those doors to be present in life. And it's for all people, children, adults alike, to work on different social emotional learning skills. And I'm really excited about the term social emotional improvisation because I definitely was brewing over it about a year ago. I think right before my baby was born, so more like 2 years ago, I went on and I emailed a friend of ours, Julie, Suzanne, and I said, social emotional improvisation. It's all the things I've been working towards the last 15 years. I started this nonprofit where I worked in the classroom, but I also work with adults and I see it. So thank you guys for kind of joining the train of this idea. We're gonna not skip a beat, and awesome. Thank you, Julie. My impulse is to let people in, but are you okay letting people in? Do you see all those people? Thank you. I'm just going to jump into the games. So the first skill that we're going to kind of look into is something that can be developed and worked on with children, but also adults in the workplace and different avenues. And it's games that help us ask for advice and also stay curious and seek to understand, which I think is just a really brilliant skill to practice. So the first game we're going to play is actually called Why Did You Do That? And how this game goes is I'm going to think of a crazy scenario that you did. You definitely did the thing. So I might point out one of you, or I might just use examples, and I'll say something like, Jenny. I'm going to go to you, Jenny. Jenny, because you just seem, I can tell you're ready. Jenny, why did you take, and I'll help you with this next part, but why did you take this glass vase of mine and throw it across the room? And then you get to think of why you did such a thing. You definitely did the thing, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt to let you explain yourself. And you could be as crazy and as silly and out there as you want. It could be that you're throwing the glass vase at a burglar or a monster that's behind me that I'm not seeing. Who knows? But Jenny, go with the flow and tell me, why did you throw my glass vase across the room?
I threw it across the room because I had to let my anger out somewhere.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm your friend. I get it. Sometimes we need that, right? So this game, through the silliness, is a way for us to talk to people about when they kind of do something crazy. Or let's say you're walking down the street and someone bumps into you. Your instinct is to be like, why did you just that's it's so annoying. But what if they were just getting a text that I don't know, they urgently needed to go help their dog who was in the vet and in trouble or something. You just never know what someone's going through. So Jenny, that was a perfect response. And to keep this going with the flow theme, which is also very social emotional improv, Jenny, can you think of something that, and you know what, this is a great go with the flow game, but also maybe if you guys don't mind raising hand or doing the hand raising emoji, if you are comfortable with playing the games, and if not, that is okay. I can also just keep playing them. But for example, Javi, you look kind of ready. Can Jenny go with the flow with you? Awesome. So go with the flow with Javi and ask him why he did something, and you can make up that something like I did with the vase.
Javi, why did you jump over the moon?
That darn Neil Armstrong owes me money.
Good one.
You were trying to find Neil Armstrong. I love it, Javi. That's so great. Thank you for going with the flow as well. So Javi, you'll be my last scenario of something that someone did to you. And it can even be me or Julie or anyone. And if you just are not feeling it, guys, because it's late on a Tuesday, that's okay too. You could say, no, I'm just watching. But go with the flow if you can and think of a crazy scenario.
Sure. May I ask you, Nikki?
Sure.
Great. Thanks for going with the flow.
Nikki, why did you arrange my sneakers in alphanumerical order?
Because I just watched Home Sort and I needed to put it in like a rainbow order with numbers on it.
Oh, you guys are so amazing at this. You all just on the spot thought of this reason, which is great quick thinking, which is another skill I like to talk about. And you kind of learned and went over this idea of giving the benefit of the doubt and not just like jumping to conclusions, hearing people out. And I love playing this game with my clients and my students. We play it regularly. The next game that I play regularly that I actually focused in on today with a group of 7th graders is the game The Good, Bad, and Confused. This game is, and I'll tell you exactly what I did today because I just like to stay real with you guys. Like it's always kind of ebbing and flowing. Like I make up games, I tweak games. I sometimes don't play a certain game for years and because it just isn't needing and isn't what the students I'm working with are needing at that moment. And then one day it's like, oh, this is the only game they need at this moment. But today, a lot of the students were just kind of being judgmental. And I just was like, can we like all realize that we all are people kind of needing help sometimes. And so I passed out pieces of paper and I had them anonymously, because they're 7th grade, they love anonymous. I had them anonymously write out things they might need advice on. So kids were writing things like, how can I feel less lonely? Or like some kids were saying, how can I get my homework done in time? And I told them to not worry about their names. We're not going to know like who said what. And then what I did was I chose 3 people. One person was going to give really thoughtful advice to whatever that question was. And they could just do the best they can, like give one piece of advice. They don't have to solve the whole thing. Another person gave terrible advice, like totally ridiculous. And the third person gave off-topic confused advice. And what this did was help us actually give advice to one another and hear what we are needing, but also kept it silly and light, because if you're too heavy, they just shut off. You know, like I know Jenny brought up, she had a 12-year-old, maybe they're older now, but you know, it's with teens, they often shut off. How old's your son now, Jenny?
He's 12.
Yes, so 12, 30, they even get, you know, sometimes maybe some of his buddies are just getting into that shutting off phase. So how this is going to go, because I just want to keep the flow going, is I'm going to think of advice that happened today in class. So one kid actually asked, like, how do I fall asleep at night? I get so much anxiety. They literally wrote this, and I don't know how to calm my brain down. I need help. So different people, and like I can, for example, just do what the 3 kids said at first, and then we'll do one where we all practice. One person said, when you go to bed at night, you should tell yourself, and I thought this was so beautiful. This was I think a 12-year-old girl, maybe 13. She said, tell yourself the only thing you're expected to do right now is sleep. No one is expecting anything else from you. It honestly made me want to cry because like to be told like the only thing you're expected of, like no one is expecting anything from you right now except to sleep. Oh my God, like I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about that because I think I needed to hear that. And then this other person was the bad advice. So he said, oh, you should take a whole bottle of melatonin and then drink 2 pots of coffee. Like it was like this silly answer that this one boy gave. And then this third person had to give off-topic advice. So they said, oh, to go to sleep at night, you need to like watch Pokemon and go to a party and wear really cool sneakers. And it was just silly and off-topic, and it was great. And everyone laughed, and it was, but out of that silliness came a very good piece of advice that I think some kids will really take home with them. Awesome. So, and I can think of something as well, but is there anyone who is actually needing some advice right now? It could be something big, small. It doesn't have to be anything serious unless you want it to be, but I wanted to just put it out there. And I'll look in the chat box too. No worries if you don't. And if you, I'll give like a few more seconds. And if, oh, how to juggle business with family. That's a great one, Abby. All right. So is anyone open to be the one who maybe could give a good piece of advice on how to juggle a business with family? And I feel like I might even put Julie on the spot because she has to juggle things like that all the time. Just one little piece of advice. Doesn't have to solve the whole issue. And let's see, how about Nikki, can you give just really bad advice on how to juggle a business with family? Awesome. And then Jenny, would you mind giving just like off topic, like almost like you're asked something else completely? All right, Jenny or Julie, what's your good advice to Javi?
So I use a Trello board to help balance that. I have a Trello board for my family and a Trello board for work.
Awesome. Can you actually tell me what a Trello board is? I don't know if I know it.
It's a project management board.
Awesome. Very cool. Awesome. And then Nikki, what's that bad advice?
Yeah, this is right, 'cause my husband owns a business, so I can say the bad advice would be to work 90 hours a week, never see your family, and go in the red by drinking, ordering 5 dozen bobas every day.
Oh my
for your
gosh, that
office.
was such a good answer. And Jenny,
What you do is you take 2 planks of wood and you put one on top of the other, but make sure it's at a 45-degree angle. And then you hammer them 5 times on each end.
perfect. I love it. I love that Javi's acting it out and getting really into it. That makes it all the more better. And I learned what a Trello board is. This is very good. I'll follow number 3. And then it's funny because sometimes that off-topic advice gets you thinking, right? Like, oh, maybe that should just be my business. Who knows? That's so cool. Okay, great. Any questions or comments or anything before I move on to there's 2 more games that I want to go over at the very least. So I just want to go.
Hold on. Hey, I was just going to say, Maya, can you kind of explain kind of what this is leading up to? Just a pause for like
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate pauses, Julie, because I can just speed up and in my mind, it all makes sense. So thank you. So are you kind of referencing what skills are being worked on with that specific game and leading up to
the courses that you're working.
Courses? There we go. So yes, guys, today is kind of a super speed version of an example of what the course is going to be. So there's a 4-part series that's going to be social emotional improvisation every once a month for 4 months. And we're going to go deeper and have more opportunities to not just learn the games really quickly, but really play them and go deeper. I have a book called The Brain's Playground, Using Improv Games to Teach Social Emotional Learning that is has 50 games, and then I have about another 50 games that all go over these skills. So the course is going to just go deeper and follow different themes. So maybe a whole one of the sessions would really focus on games that maybe were more about turning a negative into a positive and going with the flow. And then another week could be more about impulse control and confidence building. Like we would just go a little deeper every course week. And I wanted to say, I think we shared it, but I also have a smaller guide that I wrote for parents called 10 Minutes of Play for 10 Days, The Power of Play. And it's sold on Generation Mindful's website. And TBD, I'm writing a book for teachers that's called the Yes and Classroom, but that isn't going to come out for a while, but it's going to be published by Rowman and Littlefield. Okay, awesome. Is that good, Julie?
Great, thanks for the advertising.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, okay, wait, she's doing that. She's helping me do something here, so I'm going to go for it. Thank you. All right, so the next game we're going to play is actually, the game, why did you do that? I also do think also touches upon negative into a positive because you can kind of like better understand. But this game is going with the flow and negative into a positive called Gift Exchange. And this game is where I give you a gift. And Ebony, I might put you on the spot here. I'm going to give you a gift. And this gift can be terrible or wonderful. And no matter what it is, you're going to just smile, say thank you, and tell me what you're going to do with the gift. Okay, so I'm going to give you a bowl of dirt. And you can even play along and grab that bowl of dirt. And you go ahead and just say thank you.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah, you can say what you're going to do with it.
Oh, I love just the smell of dirt. So feeling stressed, I'm just gonna take a whiff, and I think it's gonna be really a stress reliever. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. And then Ebony, how about you go ahead and give Javi a guess?
Oh, okay. Here you go, Javi. I have given you a pop rock, a really big one.
Ow. I'll be honest with you, Ebony. I'm not sure what a pop rock is, but if I guess, this will help me expand my knowledge by Googling it.
Awesome. I love that smile on your face. Beautiful. And you can go ahead and give Jenny a gift.
Jenny, I got you this giant Tootsie Roll.
Thank you so much. Eating this Tootsie Roll will help me keep my neighborhood dentist in business.
Wow, that's a positive twist for sure. Thank you. And how about go ahead and give Nikki a gift?
Nikki, I'd like to present you with this napkin.
Perfect.
Thank you. I am out of napkins, so this is very valuable to me right now. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. And Nikki, how about you give Julie the last gift?
Julie, here is a baby alligator.
Oh, thank you. I can't wait to feed our pet chinchilla to
Awesome. You really tied in your own personal little like with I love. Do you have a pet chinchilla?
We do actually. I was thinking about that because this morning I woke up and he was like, he got out of his cage last night, and I was like, gosh darn it! Like, I'm so glad we don't have a dog because
Yeah. I had a feeling that you actually had a pet chinchilla when you said it, and I wanted to say that that's another great thing about these games is you kind of learn about each other in a really organic way. Javi, I think, don't tell me if I'm wrong, Ebony, is a pop rock just like the candy pop rock, but a big one? So have you ever had pop rocks like the candy that like fizzes in your mouth?
Oh, like a jawbreaker or something like that.
A little different. I kind of am dying for you to have pop rocks now. You put them in your mouth and they like literally like pop in your mouth.
Oh, okay, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is crazy, but everything's fine. She's totally fine. But there was a little girl we knew that ate ice cream they had pop rocks in the ice cream, and Baskin Robbins did it. And if you eat with ice cream, you just keep eating and eating. And it actually was really bad. They had to like pump her stomach. Like Baskin Robbins, like almost like I think that they stopped serving that ice cream like right away because they just didn't process that this wasn't healthy to like eat pop rocks like with, sorry, that just brought back a memory of pop rocks in stomachs. Awesome. That was gift exchange. And now I'm gonna play. I have one more game, and if we have time, two more, because I see we're getting close. But this is about quick thinking, and again, going with the flow, always kind of the overriding theme, and being flexible. And it's called What You Doing? And this is where you do some kind of act out, like Javi was practicing earlier, his hammering, but it's that same idea. So like, for example, I kind of look like I'm typing right now. And let's see, Julie, would you mind just saying to me, what you doing? I am brushing my teeth, even though I look like I'm typing. And then Julie, you start brushing your teeth, like actually look like you're brushing your teeth. And Javi, can you ask Julie, what you doing?
Julie, what you doing?
I am cutting down a tree.
Awesome. So now you actually start acting like you're cutting down a tree. Great. Perfect. And yeah, you do it like any way that you think cutting down a tree would look. And now, Jenny, can you ask Javi what you doing?
Javi, what you doing?
I am brushing the teeth of this hippopotamus.
Oh, so different than brushing your own teeth. You're brushing a hippopotamus tooth. Great.
So now
now you're brushing a hippo's teeth. And Nikki, can you say what you doing to Jenny?
Jenny, what you doing?
I'm buying furniture.
Oh, I love that. So you just act like you're buying furniture, however that looks to you.
Furniture.
Yeah, interesting. And Ebony, would you go ahead and Say
Hey,
what you
Nick, what you doing?
I am calling on kids in class.
Perfect. Great. Okay. And now you act like you're calling on kids in class. And then Ebony, what you doing?
I'm blowing a balloon.
And then I'll act like I'm blowing a balloon. And the cool thing about this game is we instantly got physical. We instantly had to get our brains kind of moving. Sometimes, and then did any of you start acting out like what you said you were doing? I think that happens a lot. And I love that you're still brushing your teeth. This is so great. And everyone can, drop their toothbrushes if they'd like and everything. But I know that some people will be like blowing a balloon and then they'll say, something new like I'm tying my shoe, so they start acting like they're tying their shoe. But I always challenge them to keep doing the blowing the balloon, just because it kind of gets your brain like, you have to kind of put a pause to your brain and have like that impulse control. Yeah, that's called What You Doing. Any questions before I think I will end with one final little quick game.
Can you talk a little bit about kind of like what, like on an adult level, like what we're, because I know we talked a little bit about adults, like what kind of social skills would you say? I mean, I realize like for middle school and high school, they're really just.
Yeah, I think it is that quick thinking and that creative thinking, and kind of like if you're stuck on a project or stuck in a mindset, this kind of work just really helps you with problem solving, because sometimes you just have to look at things in a different perspective, in a different way. Maybe the same idea, you would go on a retreat or something. You would kind of like revive, you take a day off to kind of like reset things. And these games are, not that you should also take a day off, but these games are kind of a nice quick way to reset your brain so you just aren't so rigid.
Yeah, so because I was thinking, because there are some people I know that'll watch the recording that are in learning and development that do scenario-based learning and like customer call in call centers and like follow protocols. And I was just talking about how it was in a discussion about how this is good, like in Discord, about how these kinds of things are good because they have to think on the fly, because nothing happens just like you're in a manual, so it's good because you have to start to like think
on the fly. Exactly.
But sometimes, but still on brand, let's say, for like what is happening. So like, I think that's what's good, because you have to stay within this box.
Exactly. Improv games are exactly that. You have to follow these rules, but within the rules, you can go crazy. But you do have to follow certain rules. And I think that that's really a great thing for all, kind of organizations to kind of practice. And also, you're throwing curveballs all the time. Awesome. So the last game is called Hesitation Debate. And this one, no one has to talk at all because of the Zoom magic. So even Rachel, or is it Joanna, or Joanna, it's probably Joanna, feel free to just write random words, all of you, in the chat box. And what I'm going to do is debate something. I'm going to prove some point. Like, for example, Julie, what's your favorite season?
Fall.
I'm going to debate and tell you that fall is not the best season. Winter is actually the best season. And I have to incorporate words that you guys are writing in the chat box in my debate. So I have to tell you why winter's the best, but if someone writes coconut, I have to somehow use the word coconut while I'm convincing you. Okay, so everyone, for the fun of it, just start writing random words. It could be food, it could be places, it could be anything. Pepper. Okay. Winter is the best holiday or the best season because you can make soup with lots of salt and pepper, and you can just chill on your YouTube in your bed and get all warm and cuddly. And winter is so amazing because monkeys aren't going to bother you as much because they don't want to be out in the cold, like when you're in Hawaii, and you can smell all the Christmas smells, and you can pet your Persian cat, and you don't have to go to work as much because there's more breaks, because it's wintertime and there's holidays. And firemen look extra sexy during winter because they have to like carry Christmas trees, and you can go to IKEA and redo your whole environment with new money that you got for Christmas. And it's you can go on a roll with it and be super happy, and it'll be so fun, and it's all gonna happen tonight. And you can like whip cream with your tongue. Okay, so that was my debate on why winter was so great. And I used all the words you guys sent. And if I missed one of your words, I'm sorry. And yeah, that about wraps it up. Any questions? Oh, perfect. No worries,
Just-
Abby. You did it.
Thank you, and I gotta go to work, so I will. Thank
Thank
you
What
for
was
you.
this.
No problem. That
What was
game is called Hesitation Debate. Bye, Abby.
Bye, take care.
And the reason it's called Hesitation Debate is like you kind of have to hesitate while like getting the words going in your brain. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
want
It
me
was
to-
really fun.
Should I write down all the games really quick in the chat box?
Sure.
Do that.
Were there any
Any
questions at all before we head out?
exchange?
So Maya, you're at mayawatkins.com, right?
Yeah, that's the best way to find what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And why did you do that? I call that other one, why did you do that? The one about doing crazy things and justifying it.
Yeah.
And good, bad, and confused. Okay, cool. Thank you. Awesome. Well, have a good night. And yeah, sign up for the 4-part series. It'll be way more in depth.
So-
Okay.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.